Hi mga kaguro, it's me Teacher Mel, presenting to you the EIPCRF RPMS portfolio for Master Teacher 1 to 4 with complete list of MOVs, with editable template, with sample MOVs, and with sample annotations. Disclaimer: I am not a master teacher. I made this video to guide you in making your portfolio. It may not be perfect, but I hope it will help you. This is the front page of the RPMS portfolio for school year 2020-2021. Edit nyo na lang po ito, ilagay nyo ang inyong pangalan. Ito rin po, ilagay nyo po ang pangalan ng inyong principal. KRA1, Content, Knowledge, and Pedagogy. Objective 1, Modeled Effective Applications of Content Knowledge within and across curriculum teaching. For Objective 1 MOVs, you need 2 COT rating sheets with proof of attendance of your colleagues. MOV1, insert nyo lang po dito ang inyong COT rating sheet 1 and then highlight nyo po yung Objective 1. And then here, insert nyo po dito ang proof of attendance of your colleague. So dito po, ang example na ginamit ko ay screenshots of my colleague's first observation. For your MOV2, insert here your COT rating sheet 2. Highlight nyo lang po ang indicator 1 or objective 1. Then insert nyo po dito ang proof of attendance of your colleague. So dito po, ginamit ko ay same screenshots of my colleague's second observation. KRA1, Objective 2, Promoted Effective Strategies in the Positive Use of ICT to Facilitate the Teaching and Learning Process. Objective 2, you need 2 MOVs, any supplementary material in print or digital format made by you and used in the lesson delivery that highlights effective strategies in the positive use of ICT to facilitate the teaching and learning process and performance monitoring and coaching form to show proof of coaching and mentoring colleagues. You may use activity sheets, one lesson from SLM, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, or other learning materials in print or digital format. Please specify and provide annotations. For MOV1, I use the learning task I personally made via quizzes. Then I provide annotations. This is the PMCF attached with MOV1. It proves that I gave monitoring and coaching with my colleague during her first and second observations. I highlighted the comments or suggestions I gave during her first observation. For MOB2, I used the learning plan I made during my second observation with PMCF as proof that I gave mentoring and coaching with my colleague. So here, I highlighted the comments and suggestions I gave her during her second observation. KRA1, Objective 3, Develop and apply effective teaching strategies to promote critical and creative thinking as well as other higher order thinking skills. For Objective 3, you need to provide 2 MOVs, any supplementary material in print or digital format made by you and used in the lesson delivery that highlights effective teaching strategies to promote critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher order thinking skills and performance monitoring and coaching form to show proof of coaching and mentoring colleagues. You may provide activity sheets, one lesson from SLM, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, or other learning materials in print or digital format. You just have to provide annotation and you have to specify it. For MOB1, I attached the learning test I made via PPT. I gave emphasis to the activities that promote critical, creative, and higher order thinking skills. This is the annotation. Second activity with annotation. Another learning test with annotation. This is the comments or suggestions I gave during the first observation of my colleague. For MOB2, I used the learning plan I made during my second observation, and then I highlighted all the activities that promote critical, creative, and higher order thinking skills with annotation. This is the first task, and this is the annotation. Another learning task that promotes critical, creative, and higher order thinking skills with annotation. Another learning task with annotation. I highlighted the comments or suggestions I gave during the second observation of my colleague, which is congruent to Objective 3. KRA2, Diversity of Learners and Assessment and Reporting. Objective 4, exhibited a learner-centered culture that promotes success by using effective teaching strategies that respond to their linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, and religious backgrounds. For Objective 4, you need 2 MOBs, any supplementary material in print or digital format made by you and used in the lesson delivery that highlights effective teaching strategies that respond to learners' linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, or religious backgrounds, and performance monitoring and coaching form to show proof of coaching and mentoring colleagues. You may use activity sheets, one lesson from SLM, lesson plan, video lesson, audio lesson, or other learning materials in print or digital format. You just have to specify and provide annotations. MOB1, Teacher-Made Learning Activity Sheet responsive to learners' socioeconomic with PMCF. So this is the MOB1. This is the PMCF, highlighting the comments or suggestions I gave, which is congruent to Objective 4. This is the MOB2, same, Teacher-Made Learning Activity Sheet, and this is the PMCF. KRA2, Objective 5, evaluated with colleagues teaching strategies that are responsive to the special educational needs of learners in difficult circumstances, including geographic isolation, chronic illness, displacement due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse and child labor practices. For Objective 5, you need 2 COT rating sheets with proof of attendance of colleagues. MOB1, insert here your COT rating sheet 1, then highlight nyo lang po yung Objective 2. And then sa other side, indicate nyo po dyan yung proof of attendance of your colleague. So ang nilagay ko po dito, screenshots of my colleague's first observation. For MOV2, insert here your COT rating sheet 2, then highlight nyo lang po yung Objective 2. And then sa other side, lagay nyo po dyan yung proof of attendance of your colleague. So ito po, nilagay ko po, screenshot po ng colleague ko during her second observation. KRA2, Objective 6, used effective strategies for providing timely, accurate, and constructive feedback to encourage learners to reflect on and improve their own learning. For Objective 6, you need 2 MOVs, evidence that highlights providing accurate and constructive feedback to encourage learners to reflect on and improve their own learning that shows timeliness of feedback given to any of the following: activity sheet, performance task, portfolio, quiz or test, SLM, and performance monitoring and coaching form to show proof of coaching and mentoring colleagues. This is the student's performance task submitted to me via FB Messenger on May 6, 2021 at 5:16 p.m. And then this is my constructive feedback. I gave this the same date at 9:26 p.m. Oras lang po ang pinagkaiba. And here, hinighlight ko po dito yung comments or suggestions that I gave to my colleague during her first observation, which is aligned to Objective 6. This is the student's output submitted via FB Messenger on June 8, 2021 at 11:34 p.m. So after few minutes, nagbigay po ako ng feedback sa output ng estudyante. And I also included here annotations. And then dito naman po sa PMCF, I highlighted the comments or suggestions I gave to my colleague during her second COT, which is congruent to Objective 6. KRA3, Curriculum and Planning. Objective 7, advised and guided colleagues in the selection, organization, development, and use of appropriate teaching and learning resources, including ICT, to address specific learning goals. For Objective 7, you need 2 COT rating sheets with proof of attendance of colleagues. For MOV1, insert here your COT rating sheet 1, then highlight indicator 3. On the other side, insert the proof of attendance of your colleague. So this is an example of the attendance of my colleague during her first COT. For MOV2, insert here your COT rating sheet 2, highlight Objective 3, and then insert here the proof of attendance of your colleague. KRA3, Objective 8. Model to colleagues the setting of achievable and challenging learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies to cultivate a culture of excellence for all learners. For Objective 8, you need one lesson plan or one lesson from a self-learning module with achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with the learning competencies as shown in any of the following: lecture or discussion, activity or activity sheet, performance task, rubric for assessing performance, and demonstrated in a LAC session as attested by the LAC coordinator or approving authority with proof of attendance of colleagues. So this is the objective that is aligned to the learning outcome. Second objective, third objective, fourth objective, fifth objective, and these are the last objectives aligned with learning outcomes. Place here your proof that you demonstrated that lesson in a LAC session. KRA4, community linkages and professional engagement and personal growth and professional development. Objective 9, guided colleagues to strengthen relationships with parents or guardians and the wider school community to maximize their involvement in the educative process. For quality, you may submit school letter approved by the school or department or grade level head. Example, communication with the barangay to use a government vehicle to transport modules. Approved action plan or project proposal or activity proposal involving the stakeholders. An accomplishment or narrative report of an approved activity. For efficiency, you need 4, 3, or 2 of the acceptable MOVs. The same kind of MOV can be submitted more than once. Place your MOVs here. KRA4, Objective 10, contributed actively to professional networks within and between schools to improve knowledge and to enhance practice. For Objective 10 MOVs, you may submit approved activity or project proposal for a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training or seminar or workshop with accomplishment report. Approved activity or project proposal for benchmarking or innovation with accomplishment report. Certificate as contributor to LRMDS. Certificate of completion in a course or training. Certificate of recognition or speakership in a webinar, retooling, upskilling, and other training, seminar, or workshop. Any proof of participation in school LAC sessions. Or others, please specify and provide annotations. For efficiency, different kinds of acceptable MOVs should be submitted, meaning each type of MOV can be submitted once. MOV1, Certificate of Completion in a Course with output submitted and with proof of implementation. MOV2, Certificate of Recognition or Speakership. MOV3, Proof of Participation in School LAC Session with submitted output and with proof of implementation. Place your MOV4 here. KRA4, Objective 11. Initiated professional reflections and promote learning opportunities with colleagues to improve practice. For Objective 11 main MOV, you need synthesis of IPCRF DP of colleagues. For supporting MOV, any document aligned with the IPCRF DP synthesis such as Certificate of Recognition as Resource Speaker or Training Committee Chairperson, Training Matrix of Black Sessions highlighting teacher's role, Minutes of Black Session highlighting teacher's role, Sample personal notes or reflection of colleagues on regional, division, or school-led insets and/or other trainings supervised or conducted by teacher. Summary of evaluation or quality assurance report on the conducted regional, division, or school insets and/or other trainings. Then others, please specify and provide annotation. For efficiency, you need 4, 3, or 2 of the acceptable MOVs. The same kind of MOV can be submitted more than once. Place your MOVs here. KRA5 plus factor. Objective 12. Performed various related works or activities that contribute to the teaching learning process. For Objective 12 MOVs, proof that the teacher served as OIC in the absence of the principal, represented the principal in meetings and conferences, observed teaching performance of teachers 1 to 3, assisted the school selection committee in the evaluation of credentials when hiring or promoting teachers, served in a committee, served as advisor to co-curricular activities, served as coordinator or chairperson, authored or contributed to a book or journal, participated in the ROSDO or school-initiated TV or radio-based instruction, served as module or learning material writer, served as module or learning material validator, coached and mentored learners in competitions, mentored pre-service or in-service teachers. You need 4, 3, or 2 of the acceptable MOVs under efficiency. The same kind of MOV can be submitted more than once. MOV1, MOV2, MOV3, MOV4. For watching.